you doing?
Not bad. I'm blessed, you know. What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, you have a quote in this press kit about how the driving force behind the creation of hip-hop was God. You really think God cares about what pop music does?
Excuse me?
Do you really think God cares about pop music?
Oh, yeah. God has his hand in everything. God created everything. You know, he uses people as his tools in the creation of many different things that control the world, the way we think and how we live. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, Satan gets in there and messes everything up. But still, God was the creative influence and the motivating factor behind what I've done, for sure. I used to always think it was all me, you know. I had such a big ego until God humbled me, made me realize that he was the one behind everything I did.
How did God humble you?
Well, see, God has a way of taking everything from you to bring you back down to earth. And he has a way of just showing people, giving them signs to let people know that he is real and that he is the creator and he is the almighty, the omnipotent.
Did you have everything taken from you?
Well, you know, let's put it this way. You know,
yeah, without getting too personal. Yeah.
Huh?
Without getting, well, I don't want to, you know, barge into your personal life.
Let's put it this way. You know, the music industry is a very up and down industry. You know, I had it all once, and right now I have nothing. I mean, let's put it bluntly. You know, that's just, you know, I had it all, and then I lost it all. I mean, I didn't lose it, but I quit. I let it go. It was my time to just say goodbye, and I left the industry. I stayed away and purposely, and I raised my family. You know, I have a family of 5. Been married for 14 years. Today is my wedding anniversary. 14 years being married.
Happy anniversary. That's cool.
Thank you very much. You know, and you know, it's a lot of times, you know, people need to go and get back down to earth when they're way up there. This is what gives them that hunger and that energy and that motivating factor to make them stand up on their 2 feet again and go out there and really work hard and struggle to really get things done and get back up there on top. Because when you're on top, you think that you're there forever, and you think that you're the best thing since sliced bread, and you also think that you could never fall. But how very wrong a lot of people can be, you know?
Okay. I wanted to do 2 stories with you. One is I'm doing this piece about, the assignment was how do you give depth to your record collection? And so what I wanted to ask you is, if you're listening to, let's say today, like the Wu-Tang Clan or Puff Daddy or Notorious Big, Master P, what should you go back and listen to?
If you want to go back, I think the late 60s and listen to the early James Brown stuff. Not the early James Brown stuff. He started in the 50s, we know that. But the middle years of James Brown, when he really put together that hip-hop beat, which is so much synonymous with the format of making a rap record of today. Also, you know, the Isley Brothers, the early Jackson 5, Jimmy Castor, and the Jimmy Castor bunch.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
You got to pick up a couple of one of his old albums, like E-Man Boogie or A Groove Will Make You Move, that album. This man is a genius. He was one of my heroes. But the early Jackson 5 stuff is good, too. I mean, there are some funky beats in there that kids just don't know about.
What was it about those early records that hip-hop picked up on and ran with? Is it just the beats and the grooves, or is there something more about it that...
They had soul.
That's all.
They had real soul. I mean, it's so apparent. It's just a feeling, and it's just a spirituality about the song that was so funky. Not just the break. Of course, you know, the break was the most important part a b-boy song. The break was when everyone did their best moves. The breaks of a record were when the b-boys just did these moves and had people, a circle of people around them. You know, they created circles of people around. You've seen that in Saturday Night Dance Fever.
Oh, sure.
Remember that?
Right.
You know, everyone's dancing in the club, and then there's just one guy who's the best dancer. Him and the girl just getting off. I mean, and everyone stops, and they just create a circle around them, and the two just go off. Okay, that's the same thing with the feeling you get from these songs. And CD number 1 of the Kurtis Blow Presents the History of Rap is, you know, you get that feeling of being there in the club, and you see the best dancer just create a circle of people around him, and he's turning the club out. Everyone is happy.
The thing that strikes me about listening to those 3 discs is even a really serious and important song like The Message it's got a bit of a lightness to it, you know? I mean, those records were more fun, I think, than a lot of hip-hop is today. What do you think?
Yeah, well, you know, that's when we started, and we had a code of ethics, you know, to make sure there was no profanity. You know, of course, you know, we're from the ghetto, just like a lot of kids are from today. We had the same anger that the kids of today have, but we just chose to keep it wholesome so that we could open the doors for guys of today to really, you know, just let their hair down and twist it in its purest form, just rapping like they don't give a fuck.
Are you disappointed with the direction it's taken?
No, I'm not, but I foresaw it. That's why I got out of the business, and I couldn't compete anymore because I just chose not to go down that road. And, you know, I'm not a saint, but I am a born-again Christian. And what I've learned from religion within the last 5 years is, you know, not to judge people. If you judge people, you get judged in the end. And it's like, I love everybody, and I just pray for their salvation. That's all.
When you were first starting out and rap was in its infancy, did you really knew that it was going to get as big as it's gotten?
Oh yes,
really,
definitely. When I first started, there was a vision, and I knew that rap was an art form of communication, a form of self-expression. As a matter of fact, I went to college and majored in communications and speech broadcasting so that I could sit back and analyze everything about rap, because rap to me is sort of like a speech. You know, you have your intro, your conclusion, your intro, body, and conclusion. You have different forms of speeches like extemporaneous speeches, which are speeches that people do without any rehearsal, just off the top of their head. That's like a freestyle. You have your demonstrative speeches that talk about any different subject, like basketball or Christmas. That's a demonstrative rap, basketball rap. You got your ego trip raps. People just talk about themselves. And you have I put them all in these different little categories. Gangster rap. All these different categories are sort of like speeches. They're speeches, and rappers are orators. So I sat back and I studied all the greatest orators of our time. JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Barbara Jordan. And the qualities in these great speakers is what I mimicked and made part of my own image and my own character and my own rap style. It's very important. Articulation, delivery, your vocal tonality, style, the whole 9 yards. College was very, very instrumental in my success, and a lot of people should take heed to that.
Where'd you go to school?
CCNY. So it was definitely something that I knew was going to be around for a while, and I banked on it.
So you must laugh now when you hear people talk about how rap is going to fade away or is just a fad or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I stopped laughing. They don't say that anymore.
Yeah. I had somebody say it to me last week, and I said, let's say it's been around 20 years. You think that's a fad? I don't think that's a fad. I think that's going to be around forever.
Right.
One of the things that you do in the liner notes is you list off some of the major influences in the creation of hip hop, and you mention there are a bunch of them that I had never heard of, and I must admit to being a lily white guy at times. And but I'm just wondering, how do you feel? Are you surprised? Do people generally know, like Pete DJ Jones and Cool DJ Herc? I mean, are these names that are well known?
Nah.
No, okay.
I mean, maybe Cool Herc is about the most well-known, or Grandmaster Flash and Bottom.
Right.
People generally know those guys.
Yeah, I knew that.
The other 7, nah.
No. Okay.
People don't know Pete DJ Jones was just as big as, if not bigger than Cool DJ Herc. And, people generally don't know that there were 2 different categories or 2 different markets in early hip-hop. See, people don't know that hip-hop was around 7 years before the first record came out. And within those 7 years, there was 2 different markets. There was the ghetto disco rapper, and then there was the B-boys. I mean, well, the ghetto disco was the B-boys, but then there was the middle-class black disco. That's where Pete came from. And a lot of the ghetto the B-boys don't acknowledge the disco rappers, because they want to keep the whole history to themselves. In all actuality, we are all pieces of a puzzle. You got to put all those pieces together in order for you to get the full picture, and the full picture of hip-hop. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know about Pete or even, Hollywood Chiba, Lovebug Starsky, guys like that. They don't get the credit, and that's exactly why I put this series together, because if you talk to any one of those guys alone, they'll say, I'm the man, I did it. I'm the one that was the most important. Sugarhill said, well, if it wasn't for us, the rest of you bums wouldn't have a job. Talk to Cool Herc, he won't give up props to the Sugarhill Gang or Pete DJ Jones. You talk to Run DMC, they're talking about before us, and before 1983, hip-hop didn't matter. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Everybody thinks they're the man, and they are the ones that put the most into this thing. And that's not even true. It was a combination of all of us together, everybody's efforts together, pieces of a puzzle.
Why do you think that rappers typically don't have long careers?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a very, very, very good question. Maybe because our fans aren't as loyal as rock and roll fans are, or our fans here in America aren't as loyal as the other forms of music. Like, for instance, in Germany, I can tour Germany and sell out 2,000, 3,000 seaters anywhere in Germany at any given time, just on my old stuff. That's because the people are loyal. We need to get loyal. We need to, instead of saying, oh, he's old, he's washed up, you need to honor that man, because they have been through it, they've survived, and they've lasted. They've proven themselves. Our people should think about that.
If you toured the United States right now, what would happen?
If I toured the United States right now, I don't know. Some places I might get 5,000, 6,000, 10,000. Some places I might get, 200 or 300. It's very, very different. There are markets, different cities where I'm really, really hot. People really, really, haven't forgotten. And then there are others who just don't give a hoot. And that's just the sadness of the business that we're in. I ain't mad at nobody.
No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm wondering, you were saying that loyalty is a problem. Do you have any sense of why loyalty is such a problem?
I'd rather not say.
Okay, that's fine. Let me throw out one theory for you and see if you buy this. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think that the biggest problem that rap has is that it's really done poorly live. I've seen I've seen very few good rap acts live. I mean, people who do such interesting things with their records can't do it live. What do you think? I'm not asking you to address people, but that idea.
Wow. I never really thought about that. But if you think about it, you very well may be true. I mean, all in history, throughout history, if you look at the great groups that perform live, those are the ones that sell the most albums. And if people keep coming back to their shows, that is correct. That's maybe one of the reasons why I've done 10 albums. One of the very few. There are a handful of us who have more than 10 albums. Wow, I got a pretty good live show. That may be it.
For example, I mean, I just saw the Wu-Tang Clan the other night, and I think they do some real interesting stuff on their records, you know, musically and creatively, and they're good rappers. Live, there's 6 of them with open mics, and they're stepping on each other, and the only tracks that are coming out are bass and drums, and they sound terrible. So it's just an idea. Anyway, let me see, a few other things I wanted to ask you if I can. Sometimes I get this question from a lot of people, and I'm sort of at a loss to answer it. Maybe you can explain it. White America seems to have really gravitated toward rap, and some acts where you would think that the acts aren't really speaking to white suburban America. Well, what is it about rap that brings people in?
Well, number one, it's the beat, of course. The beat, it will move you. Number two, it's basically that rebellistic, self-expression type rap, like just rapping like they don't care. And a lot of kids, you know, identify with that. You know, they relate to a lot of the problems that these urban kids, you know, go through. Even though it's basically suburban America that are buying the bulk of the records, but suburban America, they want to be like urban America, because urban America is cool. The have-nots. The haves always want to be like the have-nots. They have the expression, the slang. They always are on the front lines of creating new fashion, and it's just hip. Because when you get all those people together in one place, when it's really crowded like that, that's where most of the creativity comes out of. That closeness of that tension.
When was the first time that you remember rap being co-opted for commercial purposes?
I have the first national commercial on Sprite, and that was 84, I believe.
And when they approached you about it, did you have any qualms about doing it?
No.
No, okay. When was the first time that you remember hearing somebody criticize rap for being too violent or misogynistic or any of the other things that they criticize it for?
Somebody doing a diss rap?
No, I just mean like, you know, right now, I mean, C. Dolores Tucker and William Bennett are out there all the time, you know, criticizing rap, but I'm wondering, how long ago was it that people started criticizing rap?
Oh, the beginning.
At the very beginning?
Oh, at the very beginning. Yeah, 79, 80.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it anybody national, or was it just, like, who was the big...
Cornelius of Soul Train. First time I went on Soul Train. I was the first rapper on Soul Train. Now, when I got there, I had The Breaks. The Breaks was #1 record in the country, R&B. And he introduced me. I did my song. Everybody went crazy. And he came up to me to do a little interview while I was standing there. He says, yeah, well, I don't know why everybody is making so much of a fuss about this thing called rap. But, you know, it's my job, and I got to do my job, so it is.
He said that on TV?
On TV.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was 19. He broke my heart. You know, you don't tell that to a 19-year-old kid. You're supposed to motivate a 19-year-old kid.
And even if you thought that, you'd think he would have been more diplomatic about it and just not said anything.
More professional.
Yeah, because it turns out that he's still promoting rap, you know, how many years later?
He was wrong.
Who was the first gangster rapper?
I don't know. And no comment. I don't even want to get into that.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Just a couple other things, if I could. For another story I've been working on, I've been asking everybody I interview, if you became the overlord of pop music, what would be the first thing you would change?
Wow. If I became the overlord of pop music, the first thing I would change is everyone trying to get them back to God. Trying to bring people to God would be my main thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and is there anything else that you want to say about the rap collections, or
no? I just think that it's a must pick up for anyone involved in hip hop. Took me 3 years to do, and it should serve as the guidelines for many people who need the information.
I was really shocked when I first put it on, and you started off with James Brown, and I thought, yeah, this makes sense to me. I had no idea about the foundation of it, and I thought you did a really good job. I mean, these are 3 really worthwhile discs for people.
Thanks so much.
Anyway, thanks, Kurtis. Take care of yourself.
Okay, bye-bye. You too.